y'all, Jeff here, coming to you again with another Kickstarter initial impressions video. I don't have a fancy box to show you this time, but we're going to be looking at the wonderful game Project Dreamscape, coming out from Undine Studios, created by Will and Sarah Reed. If you're a listener to the podcast, you know I've done an interview with them recently, so that's out there for you to listen to if you want to hear their thoughts behind this project and how it came to be. First of all, prototype components. So the game you see behind me at some point is played out with prototype components, but I believe this is about as close to finish as you're going to see. I believe this is the style of artwork and everything they're going for. It's a pretty good indication of what you're going to get. Of course, anything can change, so check out the Kickstarter, stretch goals, all that good stuff. You'll want to find out more there. Before I get into what I think about this game, I always get nervous when somebody I'm really good friends with sends me something. And I don't get nervous from the aspect of I have to say good things. I get nervous from the aspect of what if I can't say good things, because we do pride ourselves on giving honest feedback and honest reviews, and I have looked at games from friends in the past that I've been lukewarm on and stuff like that. So this particular one, I do know Will, I do know Sarah. Obviously they've kind of been a part of the podcast family from all us geeks, so this one made me really nervous. I know Ben from Undine Studios. I've looked at games with him before. I've talked to him on the show. And we've also kind of become friends outside of that and had conversations off and on as well. So these are people that I know and interact with quite a lot. So I was really, really nervous about getting this prototype and sitting down and recording this and playing it, because they're friends of mine and I always worry about how other people are going to take it. To me, the game is the game, friends are friends, but you never know. So all of that said, I don't have anything to worry about. So that was a lot of hemming and hawing to tell you that I don't have anything to worry about with this game. I was actually extremely surprised at this game once I got it out. We're talking about a game that's like pretty much made up with just 52 cards, and like I said, at this point, you're probably seeing it play behind me, or you'll be seeing it here soon. But there are a lot of things that I like about how this plays and what you get to do and the decisions you get to make with these 52 cards. You know, it's called Project Dreamscape. It's got this fun little backstory about scientists creating a machine that can make your dreams come true or come alive, become reality. But only those that are able to control their dreams and stuff like that are able to actually use it. They have Project Dreamscape to find the strongest dreamer, the person that can control their dreams the best. So that's kind of a little bit of the backstory. And it's kind of cool. But the thing I like, the artwork is quite a bit different than I tend to see on a lot of games. At first, because I knew these guys were super excited about the artwork and stuff, and to show it off. I wasn't sure what I was going to think. Just seeing some rough samples here and there, and not seeing it in the game and part of gameplay. But I actually do really like this. I like what it looks like, what it represents, and the fact that all of these cards are around you and your opponent's dreams and controlling your dreams to make things happen. And basically it's kind of like a dream battle, if you will, because each card has two options on it, and it's a combination of two things. It's you've got these symbols, which the more of them you chain together of the same type of symbol, the more points you get. Similar to something like Ticket to Ride, right? The longer route that you choose, the more points you get, right? You grab a one spot route, you're only going to get 1 point, or versus grabbing like a 5 or 6 spot route. Same kind of concept here. The longer your chain, the more points you're going to get for it. You've got two options on each card and two things you're kind of looking at on those options as well. So you've got two different symbols for each side of the card, and then you got two different abilities for each card. And when you purchase a card, you decide which ability you're going to use. Now, when I first was thinking about this game and was kind of had it explained to me, I kind of thought you were choosing your side and that was your side. Like, whatever side you played, you got the other symbol. That's not the case. You choose an ability, you get access still to both symbols. You get the big thing is to make sure your cards don't get rearranged unless a card tells you to rearrange your cards, because you're doing the chain. So as you go along, like I got here, I've got like 4 of these orange eyeball guys here that I've chained together. Well, now if I go to purchase a card and there isn't another eyeball available, so I got these 2 guys, I've broken the chain. So these 4 stay together, they'll score me points, but now I've kind of started off on a new chain. But you can do something like, so I've got the eyeball here on the N1, and I've got like this blue kind of Z thing. If we come along and this guy gets played who has a blue Z thing on him as well, these 4 eyeballs still go together, but now these 2 blue symbols also start a new chain. So this card this card with the eyeball and that blue symbol kind of becomes a bridge between those 2 chains. So the thing is, you're looking at your options at all times. You're looking at what abilities you're going to play and what symbols you need. So, sometimes you might want to buy a card because you really want the ability that it gives you, but it's going to mess up your chain. But can you maybe fix that chain later down the road because you can buy some cards that have abilities that'll let you rearrange your chain a little bit? All of it works together very, very nicely. And there were times during the game where I'm hemming and hawing back and forth. Is this the time I want to break this chain and start something new? Do I want to spend all my currency, which is basically just the cards up, face down that are not in your chain? So that, again, that's another purpose for the cards. Are you going, and the entire deck is your countdown for when the game ends. So are you going to start snagging a bunch of cards and just putting them off to the side so you can spend them as currency to get the cards that make up your chain? And see, just all kinds of little things we got going on here. And these, while they get you cards during the game, are worth negative points at the end of the game. So you don't want to be a glutton on how much currency you have because it hurts you. So you want to keep that tight balance between how many cards do I want to have in my possession as currency, which are going to be negative points at the end of the game, but I need to be able to buy cards and how deep up the stack I can buy, because the farther away from the main deck you are, the less points a card costs. So you're going to have 5 cards out to purchase. The one farthest from the deck is worth 1 point, or costs you 1 currency, all the way to the one right by the deck costs you 5 currency. A lot of things to balance out there. So it's a super cool little game that took me by surprise, that has a lot of depth and decision making that I really like. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anytime you give me cards like this, even though it didn't have the limitation of choice that I originally thought it might, but the fact that you're giving me options, and the limitation of choice ended up coming in another spot, which is your symbol chaining. So I want that ability, but it totally screws up my chain, but I want that ability. So those are the kind of decisions you have to make for this one. So I seriously can't say enough cool stuff about it. I have no doubt that this is going to do extremely well on Kickstarter, and it deserves to be. I'm glad to see Ben, Will, and Sarah all working together, because they're all good people, and so it's always good to see good people work together. But when you get something like this kind of product that comes out of that collaboration, it's all the cooler. It's just amazing. Thanks, guys, for sending this to me. Thanks for letting me take a look at it. Thanks for using me for a review, because this is awesome. I'm glad you guys sent this to me, and I highly recommend this game. Go check it out. plays, let me see if I got that there. It plays 2 to 4 players, roughly about 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. It's not, you know, it's not going to task you for a game. There is reading, you know, so there's each card has abilities and dual abilities, like I said. So there's some reading comprehension. So maybe really young kids, maybe not. I mean, if you start to explain it, again, there's the cool thing though is when you start moving into where kids can play it though, you know, you've got the chaining and the symbol matching and that kind of stuff and that early decision making kind of stuff. That's pretty smart. That's pretty cool thing to get them involved in and get them thinking that way. So slightly older kids, definitely worth playing with. I think this can be a pretty cool little family game. I think it touches on a theme and a subject that we're not seeing a ton of. So that's cool. Everybody's always kind of like, oh, that theme is overdone, which is a personal thing that I don't believe. But here you go. A theme that's not overdone by any stretch of the imagination. All right. I could wax poetically forever because it really did take me by surprise, and it really is that good of a game. So highly recommended for me. Definitely go check it out. It is on Kickstarter. I want to say it's going to be through mid-March. But again, as always, right here, right in front of the fighting the other half of the battle, right here somewhere. Link and the actual end date for this Kickstarter. So click it, go check it out, and back it. It's a great game. You won't be disappointed by any means. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll be back with more videos very soon. Thanks for checking us out. See you soon.